Hello, little one. Hello. What are you doing? What are you doing? She said, "Oh, I'd come for a cuddle. Oh, I might go in. Oh no, I'm going round there." Oh, it's lovely. Oh, it's lovely. Oh, it's trotting off to find something. Oh, he saw a magpie. That's what it was. As I was, good day. Welcome to this first segment of a week at the plot. As I was coming in the gate, I saw that there was some snowdrops beginning to come out. And as I was wending my way and got here, some of our broad beans have germinated. But look, I think that one's germinated and been eaten again. But yeah, they're trying to come back maybe. But I've got some compost coming to do a further sowing. Oh yeah, look, there's another one over there, you see. Yeah, anyway, not many, but nice to see a few. What I'm down here to do today is to cut back the roses. I'm just going to give them a quick prune. Let's just go round to this one. All our sweet peas, well, our perennial peas rather, they're still surviving quite nicely. One of our lettuce has bitten the dust. Maybe they need a bit of water. Anyway, yeah, I've come down to prune the roses. This rose is most probably about 8 foot high. And really you want roses that are going to sort of come out at head height. So I'm going to cut quite a lot of this one back. And I think I'm going to take one of these branches, one of these stems rather, out. I sort of feel it could do with it, but I really want to see it flower in a lovely way this year. I think I'm just going to take it back to sort of 5 foot 10 inches, something like that, and leave the old stems in for the time being. And the reason that I'm doing this now is it doesn't look as though we're going below freezing overnight for the next sort of 4 or 5 days, which means that the wounds where I prune this back will have time to heal themselves a little bit. So yeah, that's what I'm going to get on and do. Did I prune this last year? I've got a feeling I didn't. Anyway, I'm just going to get on and prune it back, as I say, to about 5.5 foot, just under 6 foot, something like that. That will do for the moment. Right, you most probably can't see from this angle, but that's looking a lot trimmer now, and it's giving me room. I've sort of cut it back this side and this side to give me room to pass either side. This whole area along here is actually supposed to be a communal path between plots, but it's been worn away over the years because generally these top plots here have been one whole plot. It's only in the last sort of 20 odd years or so that they've been split into two. And of course mine used to be two half plots, which was put together to one whole plot a few years ago. But yeah, there's a lot more air getting in there now. If we come back to this side, you can see that I've taken a lot off the top, and it's basically, I think this side is sort of 5'10", over there is most probably just a bit 6 foot, and oh look, there's a bit there that's nothing. You can see there's a shoot coming there, but this bit is nothing, so I'm going to take that off. It's not going to focus, is it? Yes. And I've just opened up this top area. There's these are very old stems. We do have other stems coming up, but I want to keep these old stems for the moment. There was a bit that was completely dead here that has come off, but yeah, generally it's looking sort of quite a bit better. This one here at the front has done us proud over the last few years, but you can see that there's a lot of young growth coming up now, which I think I'm going to let grow quite well this year, and then next year, if we're still here, I'm going to cut these back. I might cut one of the older branches back even before then, but we'll see. But look, if I go in here, you can see that is dead wood there. That there is dead wood, no growth on it. I've let bindweed go through this, but here you see that is snap, crackle and pop, dead growth. So dead growth is coming off first, and then crossing branches. If I come over here, this whole branch here, that looks completely as though it's dead down to there. This one here, dead down to there. So I'm going to cut dead things out first, and then look at the shape and cut out crossing branches. I'm not sure, with all the other things in the way and with the light levels falling, you can see what I've done here, but it's basically been given quite a good haircut. And sometimes people say to me, well, what happens if I prune too much? Well, if you prune too much, you can kill a rose, but it can grow back. But if you sort of, give it a decent prune, you should be fine. And that's just sort of taking lengths off things and cutting back dead wood, cutting back crossing wood, cutting back dying wood. And I think, maybe if I go around this way, I think with the new growth coming down here, we should have another year of this top growth. But if I go in here, you see, I can see, where did I see? You can see here, there's a hole. Can you see that hole? Oh, it's not focusing. There's a hole. Now what will happen is water will get in there and it will rot and take the whole thing out. Do I want to do that at the moment and take that out? I'm not sure. I think in some ways it would be sensible, because it would clear this area here for me. But I sort of want a few more flowers this year. This may be the last year that we're here, so I want to give it a good go. 2 relatively swift jobs done for this first segment of a week at the plot. As I say, I'm doing it now because I can see in the forecasts over the coming sort of 4 or 5 days that we're not going below 0, which is good. You don't want to prune roses when it's going down to freezing. So yeah, glad to have got that job done, and glad that the weather is allowing me to do that. Gosh, there's a plane. It's really, I mean, it's taking off, but it's really going up at a sharp angle all of a sudden, as if it's trying to avoid something. Yeah, it's Wednesday afternoon. It must be about 4 o'clock, 4:30, something like that. It feels later because it's quite overcast and dark. It's been a week of turmoil so far, and nothing terrible, but you know, things that sometimes we can just all do without. We did have on Sunday at the For Our Sake Heritage Orchard and the Great Green Barn wassailing going on and Morris dancing in the Great Green Barn. It was pissing down with rain, absolutely pissing down with rain. So we had a really swift wassail of a tree in the orchard, like maybe 4 or 5 minutes, and then it was back into the warmth and dry of the Great Green Barn to watch Hook Eagle Morris do some fabulous Morris dancing. And if you have seen that on Richard's vlogs and our social media and things, that's great. If you haven't, I'm going to leave you today with a little bit of Hook Eagle Morris dancing, and I will see you in a day or so down here for another job, maybe putting compost and cardboard, or cardboard then compost, onto that bed that we did last week. But we've also got those Jersey Royals / International Kidney to sow or plant as well, which are going to go into this raised bed. So maybe we'll do both of those this week. Any questions you've got about roses, or I'm going to sneeze, no I'm not. Any questions you've got about pruning roses or what I've done, you know, please do ask them in the comments down below, or look at other videos about pruning roses that give you a much tighter view of what's going on. I've been pruning roses now for over 4 decades, so I sort of know what I'm doing, but like everybody, we could always learn more. Right, waffly, I'm going to go and leave you with Hook Eagle Morris. See you very soon. Bye. Good day. We're at Aston Rowant. There's a couple of kites, red kites. I think there's still some power station chimneys right over there. There's Richard. But I was looking here, they've done a lot of clearing of habitat around this first bit. Far fewer brambles and blackthorn and hawthorn than usual, and therefore, I'm not sure if you can see, but it's much muddier as well. So that's what happens when you clear habitat. There's a big sort of little copse there, but yeah, a lot of clearing. I mean, they do this so that the habitat doesn't take over completely. So it's basically, you know, land management. But you can see what it does. Look at all that mud. Anyway, what we can also see up there, look, sheep. And there's some come right across the path over there. I don't think we're going that way. Can you see that kite, red kite up there? Anyway, yes. We're going to go back up here and walk along, but I just thought I would give you a quick update in woodland management at, well, actually, is it Aston Rowant? It's the other side of Cowley's Wood that we're on at the moment. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. It really is. Yeah, this area as well. And some of the ant hills, which are all the sort of bumps you can see, some have actually been sort of broken into, most probably with the machinery that's been used to grub up what's been growing. I mean, it will all grow back. I mean, the ant hills will take quite a while. I think they're meadow ants. But yeah, we've never seen it this clear before. If we come, can you see over there? It's usually more like it is over here, where there's lots of low growing vegetation, and you see that area. Yeah, it's normally like this. Lots of small shrubs and grasses and things. Not sure if you can see the sheep as I'm going into the sun. They all seem quite happy. I think they're enjoying the warmth of the sun. Yeah, and look at the plains over there. It's just so flat after these hills. Anyway. Oh, not sure if you can see all the red kites over there in the thermals. They're really enjoying themselves. Anyway, we're going to carry on with our walk. I know I'm going on about this, but this little bench, all of this here was hedgerow and hedging all along. You can see it's been cut back, and the brash, whatever you wish to call it, thrash some people call it, has been left at the back there, piled up, which is great, of course, for wildlife. But this bench, literally, used to be a little nook that we used to come to. It was sheltered from the winds, and we'd sit here and have our tea and our rice crackers whilst looking out on that view. I sit down. Oh, little seat. That was the view, but we were sort of bordered by lots of shrubs here and hedging, and this side too, which has really been cut back, and the paths are much muddier than usual. Even the sheep seem to be trekking through the paths more. But at least we've still got that view. Look at that. I mean, all of this thicket and hedging and all the plants, they will grow back. It is just about management, but it feels a bit vicious sometimes. But maybe vicious is needed occasionally. Anyway, I will leave that for this day's segment of A Week at the Plot. See you very soon. Good day. It's early Sunday morning, and middle of last week I bit the bullet and decided to get some premium all-purpose compost. I thought I'd ordered the peat-free variety, but I think not, because it doesn't say peat-free on it. There's two bags that are very similar, one the same as this and one that says peat-free, and I ordered the wrong one. Never mind. There's other people doing far worse in the world than me buying 4 bags of compost that has some peat in it. But I must remember next time when I do look that should I buy again premium compost, it does say peat free. So yeah, right, yeah, I'm going to be using this today. Let's just have a quick chat about that. Yes, I have bitten the bullet and bought premium compost. The reason being, last year was such a poor year and we had really bad germination, erratic germination, poor growing on. You know, the harvests were down 90% on my worst year ever, I think. And I felt that with all the hours that I put in at the plot, to get so few harvests out of this full allotment site was just not acceptable. So it was either, do I carry on or do I spend a little bit more? Now our allotment costs £185 a year, including water, and I felt that I did want to continue, but there was going to have to be something that would have to change, and that was going to be the compost that I used to sow seeds into. So what I did is I put a few pounds away each week from about, I think it was about October. No, it was the end of August. I put a couple of pounds away a week, and I have bought 4 of these bags of premium compost. As I say, they do have a peat-free variety as well, so please go for that option if you can. I think they cost the same. I just clicked on the wrong thing when I ordered. I wasn't concentrating, obviously. So what I'm hoping is that with better compost to sow seeds into, the seeds will germinate better, they will grow on better, and they will, once they go into the ground, they will have had a really healthy start and be able to really get going once they're in the ground. We all know that if something has a really good start, that's a good stead for it to go onwards and be successful. So I thought spending the extra money was certainly worth it. I think these worked out at about £11 a bag of 50 litres, including delivery actually. So that wasn't too bad. I did quite a lot of looking online for compost and going to the garden centre. I was looking for an Erin compost at the garden centre, but they didn't have any left. I was looking at that online. I couldn't see how to get it online. And then when I saw this one and I looked at a few other people who it said was using it, I thought, you know what, I'm going to go for that one and we'll see how it goes. So what I'm going to be doing is sowing them in these modules. You've seen these from me before. I think these must be their 5th or 6th year of use. I've got quite a few, so they're not all used every year by any means, but there's 15 cells in this one, and there's another size which is 24, isn't it? No, 7, 14, 21, 28. 1, 2, 3, 28 cells. So I'm going to be going for the 15, these, because there's going to be more compost in here, and for a larger seed like that, which is going to be growing in here for quite a while, one hopes it's not eaten by mice, I think that the additional compost is needed. If we did have any that were deeper, that would be even better, because of course you want to build up a good root system. The roots will come out the bottom. You can see here that there's plenty of room for roots to come out the bottom. So as long as I keep them nice and moist, they should be fine. For the smaller seed module trays, I use smaller seeds. So I use things like chard and lettuce and those much smaller seeds to sow into those. I'm doing two types of broad bean. One is a broad bean which has been saved from last year by a plot neighbour. You may remember we didn't have a particularly great harvest of broad beans last year. One of those harvests that was quite significantly down. So our neighbour had some left over, so she has given those to us. And also I've got Aquadultry Claudia left from the sowing that we did do a few months ago, which have all been eaten in one way or another by mice. I think we've got two that have regerminated, so I don't think the mice took the seed out, or they can't have taken the seed out of those holes, but the mice took them out of other holes. Anyway, what I'm going to do, you've seen me do this before, is fill this up with compost. Then I'm going to sow one seed per module in a depth of about 1.5 inches. And then I'm going to firm it down, put more compost on top and firm it down so that it's on a level with the top here. And obviously, depending upon the moisture of the compost, I'm very likely to give these a light water, and in order to do that I'm going to need to go to our communal water butts and collect water from down there. So I will get on and do that. As I was coming in here after I brought the compost, I noticed that our garlic, which has been growing pretty well, I think a fox or a squirrel has started trying to dig up one of the garlic. And I hope this isn't the start of our garlic being dug up. You know, I really could do without that this year. I really could. You can see, I've taken a video of it, so I'll bung it in here, and you can see how it's growing. It's quite interesting to see the small roots below ground and the whiteness and how it goes to green. But yeah, I just hope that no more get dug up. I really could do without that this year. Anyway, on to sowing these seeds, and then I'll be back with you. As you can mostly see, compared to the video a little bit earlier, the sun has now risen above next door's shed and is blasting in the poly, which is rather lovely but doesn't really make for great photography. I suppose I could pop into the shed, but you know what, I've got other things to do. So yeah, I'm glad to have got those broad beans sown. What I will do, they're not going to stay in here in the poly, they're going to go into the greenhouse. And the reason they're going in there isn't really because of additional heat or protection that a greenhouse gives over a polytunnel. The reason is because I'm pretty sure that no mice get into the greenhouse, where I do know they can get into the polytunnel. So having lost so many broad beans in the ground to mice over the last few months, I don't want to lose these to mice. So yeah, they're going into the greenhouse. So once I finish this, I'm going to pop them in there. And then I'm just going to potter around the site. I've noticed there's a few bits of plastic. There's a few bits of rose that I missed last week when I was doing the pruning. So I'm going to give that a little bit more of a prune. Just a few bits that I missed. There's a little bit of deadwood, 2 bits of deadwood on one bit of deadwood on another. Take that off. And then there's some other crossing branches on one of them that I missed last week, because I didn't look at it from all angles, so I'll take those crossing branches out as well. But yeah, that's it for this week's A Week at the Plot. There'll be other things that we're doing next week, like covering beds and things like that, but I just want to tidy the plot up a little bit. I've noticed there's a few things that I've gone, oh yeah, I'll do that tomorrow, or I'll do that tomorrow, and there's been quite a few of those I'll do that tomorrow. So what I'm going to do now as I leave you is I'm going to go and do those jobs today. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So whatever is happening in your garden, your growing space, or your allotment, I hope, as I say each week, you're getting some joy from it. To be able to sow those broad bean seeds today into decent compost. Oh, the compost! The compost is really, really nice. I mean, it's finely graded. It's been sieved really, really well. I only found 2 little bits of plastic in there. I'm hoping it's going to do well for those seeds to germinate and grow on. But yeah, the compost was really quite pliable. It had clumped together in transport, but really easily unclumped once I got my hands in there and just roughly sort of pulled them all apart. So yeah, that was lovely to see that compost. Very different to other compost that I've been sowing in over the last few years. I'm really quite keen to get some of their peat-free compost to see what the difference is. And in talking to a fellow plotter the other day, I think she might like to order some, and she'll definitely be ordering the peat-free, because I'm going to send her the link for the peat-free. Right, yes, any comments, any questions, please do leave them down below. And I think I'm leaving you at a time where Heathrow seems to be starting to kick out quite a few planes. So maybe it's a good thing we're leaving it here. See you very soon, and happy growing. Bye.